Hello. Hi, fans of high quality live chats. I am with, there's a new one here. It's Marcia.
Yeah, we do have
I
Marcia.
am with
Marcia?
All the World's a
Hi.
Stage, Marcia P, and Massey's Main Entertainment. And our subject, what are we going to talk about today, Steve? I put you on the spot.
I asked you that before we went live, and you said nothing.
Yeah.
I
We
wrote
lost
down
Marcia
a
already.
few things. If
Marcia.
people are in-
Marcia's also been sick the last 2 weeks. She was not.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
Well, she's gone.
Is she gone?
She's gone.
I was just making sure my Facebook's working.
Yeah. I don't
Hello.
know what happened to her. Maybe her new. Oh, we got Victor.
It must be something that we said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you
hello.
lost her at hello.
The Downfall Paradist. That's a good name.
That's
Yeah.
a great name. That'd be
I've
an
never
awesome
come
name.
across him.
And Reviews. That's a great name.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Have you ever come across the Downfall Paradise before?
No.
Yeah.
And Flat, Round, and Spun.
Hey, there's
That's a
Trevor.
good name.
I will see him later tonight.
Ah,
But that light is too bright in here, I think.
Look what I got yesterday.
band.
Oh, you got the new strip down, whatever.
Yeah.
Is that the strip down version?
Yeah, it's 2 CDs.
Mm-hmm.
One is called Underdubbed. It's kind of interesting to listen to. And then
So
it
what did
comes
they
with
do to it?
Well, it's like kind of like a demo. It's before they add all the production to it.
Okay.
And then it comes with this little poster. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, it's Stephen Schnee. I have the best name ever. Yeah, Stephen Schnee, the CD junkie. That's a great name.
Yankee. Hey, kind of rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. Good morning, all, Ralph. I've ordered mine. Yeah. Band on the Run, possibly my favorite Wings album. Is that a live stream thumbnail when you were young? Yes, it is. And you're not supposed to laugh at it.
I don't know if you guys do, but anything that McCartney records, I just call it a McCartney album. I don't differentiate with Wings or the one Paul and Linda album.
Right.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, that's no problem.
I mean, even when I throw it on my spreadsheet, it just all goes under Paul McCartney.
Well, I've listened to two. I always try to listen to new music every week. New albums that came out that I thought were pretty good this month were The Smile released a new album, which is just Tom York and Johnny Greenwood's, and it's called Wall of Eyes, that I thought was very good. And a band called The Vaccines, who had a really hit album back in 2011. Their new album, Pickup Full of Pink Carnations, was very good. So it's hard to find good, new music unless you look outside the charts. So
what are they like?
they're like an indie pop band.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that 2011 yet. I want to go back and listen to that now that I've heard this album. Both were very good.
Have you been in a band once? No.
Either
of you been in a band?
Yeah.
No.
I played bass. So.
Stephen Schnee. The term it's called underdubbed. The term underdubbed seems awkward. They should have called it undubbed, since it is the skeleton of the album before they added strings and things. Yeah.
So is this
they don't explain anything either in the album. Hello, everyone. Marcia, you're back.
There's Marcia's back.
Hi, Marcia.
Hi.
How are you feeling, Marcia?
I'm feeling better. I'm still hoarse, but I'm not disgusting anymore.
I can hear it in your you're still a little clogged. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not needing to cut my head off like I felt like I needed to last week. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
I have the Velvet Underground Eric Emerson LP. How rare is it? It's so rare. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, never heard of it.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Yeah. Oh, I played the guitar, synthesizer, harmonica, and etc. Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I just checked out the Downfall Paradise page. He has 63 subs, so everybody sub him up.
Yeah, sub them up. That'd be awesome.
So we are done the album exchange for a couple of reasons, personal reasons, but I did listen to both of the albums a few times.
Oh, that's
Talking
right. Yeah.
Heads.
That's right. Yeah, I was wondering what you thought of it.
Yeah, Talking Heads, More Songs About Buildings and Food. I love that album. My favorite is Fear of Music, but their second album, their first three albums are my favorite. So I would have given that an 8.5. And then that other one with what's his name from the Pretty Things,
Phil May. Yeah.
The very first song is my favorite. I was thinking when I heard that, oh, it's going to be a great album, and it was, I guess, just okay. Like his vocals were the main thing that I enjoyed about it,
Yeah.
and the music not so much. I prefer him in the Pretty Things, but it's too bad. I know the first song is with the guy from Humble Pie and everything. I wish they'd recorded more of the songs. So I would have given that like a 6 out of 10.
And Marcia, what would you have given, or did you not even listen because you were sick?
I only gave it one listen because I was sick, and then I didn't go back to it because we had decided to shut it down. It didn't hold my attention very much, quite frankly. I thought it was kind of dull. But that doesn't mean that if I had listened to it more, that I wouldn't have enjoyed it. But it didn't capture my attention on its first listen. And I have to say the same about the Father John Misty. I actually fell asleep listening to it.
Oh, I couldn't. I tried listening to that just because a number of people in their comments were raving about it, and I was getting hit too much over the head with the climate change, message. So
I didn't even get that far into it to pick up on the message, but
which album did you guys listen to? Which one was it of Father John?
The one that Glenn keeps going on about. What is it?
I can't
think it
remember
was his,
it.
Which one?
The Dream Coma or something?
his third album, I think it was.
Let me pull up.
It's the long one. It's like a double
album.
Let's listen to I Love You, Honey Bear.
That
Pure Comedy.
That's it.
Pure Comedy.
Pure Comedy. That's the only two I've listened to. Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't. I will say that I did find it to be too long, even before I had fallen asleep, because there weren't a whole heck of a lot of tempo changes that I noticed up until the point that I had fallen asleep. So it had a lot of sameness to me. And, if I had fallen asleep on the 5th or the 6th or the 7th song, I really can't say. But if it didn't keep me awake, it's, and some albums are good to fall asleep to. So I guess it's not terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I looked at my score of it. I only gave it a 6.75. It just.
Oh, are you another spreadsheet man?
Yeah, I keep a spreadsheet of everything I've ever listened to. So,
Steve, you two have met before, right? Like I feel like I should
I know
Steve.
Steve.
Date or something.
Yeah. What do you keep on your spreadsheet, Brian?
What I do is I obviously the title and then what I do is record. I chart the record sales, rounded to millions or 100,000s, whatever, and then I put influence. I rate influence 1 through 10. It's ranking in their catalog. How many albums they have, where I think it falls, and then my score, and then I give it an overall score based on like all that criteria. So.
Oh my, Steve.
Yeah.
He's got all kinds of new ideas. He's hitting on things that you never touched on yours.
No, I mean, I put in the date I listened to it, the artist, the album, the year of release, then the specific date of release if I can get it. Some albums you can't. Then I mark down how many times I've listened to it. I keep a running total on that. I keep track of whether or not I have it on LP, CD, or both. And then also I have a column for where when I've last cleaned the vinyl.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Well,
No,
Trevor,
I have separate Excel files for like the actual inventory. You know what I mean? I have to keep track of that so that I don't.
Don't think there's just one.
Oh yeah, I've got other spreadsheets too.
Yeah, don't be mistaken. There's more than one. He did a whole live stream with me and Trevor for the first hour going through it. He also denotes when he hit the 50 and the 75 listen mark with an album.
Yeah.
What year?
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of spreadsheets within my computer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I think my my OCD was quite underrated.
So if you were to say to him, if
you've
awesome.
ever been on Twanger's turntable, his channel, his name is Mark. He sent this to me.
That's
fantastic.
awesome.
That's fantastic.
But if you ever wanted to know what Steve listened to on April 30th, 2011, he can tell you.
Wow.
Yeah.
So who's the best band you have ever seen play live? For me, it's Paul McCartney and Sparks. Steve.
God, it's one of those that's always hard to say. I mean, sometimes I just want to say Alice Cooper and the $1 Billion Babies tour because that was my first concert. But I've seen McCartney. I saw McCartney on the Wings Over America tour, so that was '76. So I could say that one too. It's just hard to pick one. I can't single out anybody. I could tell you the best performer I have ever seen, performance-wise, is Bruce Springsteen. Yeah, but I'm not going to say it's not the best concert.
Marcia?
That's a tough one. And I'm going to say, and I know people are going to probably shit all over me for saying it, but I'm going to say the Foo Fighters, because you can say their music is bland and all of that. But I've heard Dave Grohl say it in interviews. I'm not getting off of that stage until everybody in that audience has had the time of their life. And he delivers on that promise. There is not one unhappy person in that crowd when they take the stage.
So which tour was it? Do you remember, Marcia?
It was 2017, 2018. 2018. And he had said it was the first time he had played in Central Florida in 15 years. Because Orlando isn't the biggest, or Central Florida, it's not a huge concert town. And I saw him in Tampa. I went over to Tampa and saw them play in the amphitheater. And it was a great time outdoors. It was really good. And then my favorite performer to see live of all time is Chris Isaak. He's just incredible. Nice. He is charming and funny and stylish and just as handsome as ever. And he sings so incredibly well, you would think you were listening to the CD. His voice is just as good on stage as it is on,
he's got that really quasi falsetto voice. That's amazing.
It's not quasi, it is like I want to say the last time I saw him was right before the pandemic, and he's in his 60s and he can still hit them, huh? Those high notes. But I had listened to a podcast where they were talking about him a little bit, and they had said that, he always wanted to be a rock star. That was always his goal, and he was never going to let anything get in his way of achieving that goal. So he never smoked, he never drank, he never took drugs. Like, he really treated his body like, a fine-tuned instrument. So there's a reason his voice is still in such good condition.
Awesome. Brian?
Probably the best. I mean, as much as I love the fact that I got to see REM on the Green tour, it wasn't very good live. A lot of the material off of that album that they were, because it was mostly rock oriented album. They didn't play a lot of the older stuff. U2's Joshua Tree tour, though, I thought was the best performance I've ever been to. I thought as an overall show, I thought it was very good.
Back in 87?
Yeah. 87. Well, yeah, it was the late summer 87. Yeah, I just graduated high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, I saw the 30th reunion tour. I saw it in Seattle and I saw it in Tampa.
Yeah.
But when it came around the first time, I was just 15 years old, so I hadn't gone to a concert yet. It wasn't anything I felt comfortable asking my mom to go to at that age either, because I know the answer would have been no, because it wasn't anything I could have afforded. And if I remember correctly, that concert was at the Pontiac Silverdome, so it wouldn't have been all that great since that place had terrible sound.
Right.
But the first time I saw him was Zoo TV.
Favorite Elton John album?
Ooh,
Madman Across the Water.
I agree.
Well, if that would be my album if the second side was as good as the first. The first that album is so front loaded. Second side for me gets a little weak. So
I suppose you're right. Maybe Tumbleweed Connection then.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Yep, I've been listening to Paul Weller. I still need to get the Jam and Style Council, though. I listened to Glenn's suggestion, the Father John Misty album. Very good, very Elton John-ish. Is the album exchange canceled or is it on hold? It is canceled. It's done. It's dead.
We all hate each other, if you can't tell.
We're not talking to each other anymore.
Okay. You notice Glenn's not here.
Yeah, you notice? Okay, put 2 and 2 together.
He's dead to us.
Yes. Glenn who?
Throwing that shade again.
Talk, we're good, yeah. Especially the first 3 albums.
Yeah, Mark Hollis, R.I.P. What a great voice.
What's
his favorite album by Talk? I like Spirit of Eden.
I don't know any Talk.
Mine is the first one. What's the one with the moths on the cover that everybody talks about?
Color of Spring, right?
Okay. I know people rave on that and say how great it is, but there's a children's chorus on it. So I'm out. I can't, I don't like children singing on records unless it's the Jackson 5. Like, those are the only acceptable ones.
Does anyone have a perfect double album? I'm not sure there is one. The Beatles' White Album. I love everything about it.
That's a great question, because that is hard to pull off, because
It really
you can
is.
even with Revolution number 9, Larry, you're fine with that. Yeah.
Yep.
I can't listen to that.
I can't think of one. That's
Quadrophenia.
perfect.
For me, it's Quadrophenia.
Yeah. I don't know if I have a perfect double album. I mean, I'm running them all through my head. Tommy White album.
Not live double albums either.
Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Right?
Have you got any Clash CDs? I sure do.
Look at
That's
that.
a pretty cool set.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just have one, and that's London Calling. I'm not a big Clash fan.
I can't see the comments, so I have to look on my phone.
Freak in the Sheets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I've only got 2. I think I got Rock the Casbah on album and the London Calling. That's the only 2 I have on LP.
Hey, Larry, can you set it so that the comments pop up on the side?
I don't know why they're not.
It told me
I
I
can see
needed
it.
to log in,
Oh no, I can't see them. That's right. No.
and when I logged in,
But I'm showing. Can you see them on the screen?
Yeah. On the
Well,
bottom,
I'm showing you all of them anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. But it told me I needed to log in, so I went to log in, and that's what took me out. And then it said it didn't recognize my Google name or anything, and I was like, "I'm on Google right now." That's how I got in here. So, but
The
anyway,
Nervous Eaters, Monsters and Angels.
The Nervous Eaters.
Listening in from work, it's Shane B. Hope everyone is having a
oh
great
hey
day.
Shane,
Yeah, hey Shane. Shane was always good about commenting on.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'll ask, did any of the people that are watching now listen to any of the albums that we had suggested on our last show?
And Steve, you never gave your reviews.
Let me see. What were my selections? I got to pull it up. Let me pull up the spreadsheet. See what my. Oh, I had Vintage Trouble that Glenn had presented, and that I think I would have probably given about a 7. And then what was the other one that I choose?
Oh, hey, Trevor.
All right. Oh, I took your album, Larry, the
Yeah,
Eric Burden one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was horrible.
Really?
Horrible.
Wow.
Those were, oh my God.
And that's why we're not doing the album exchange anymore, Steve.
You know, Steve's answers are always so wishy-washy. I can hardly
Yeah.
tell his real opinion of the album.
Give us your true, honest opinion.
It was just,
He's just as indecisive with his
Man, they
criticism
were-
as I am.
badly made remakes. I just couldn't get into them. I didn't understand the arrangements, and it was, yeah. I mean, I probably would have given it
That would have never happened, Stephen.
a 3 or a 4, if truth be told.
What is your favorite album of all time? The Beatles' Abbey Road or the Beatles' White Album?
It's Dark Side of the Moon. It's a
Rumors.
boring answer, but it's Dark Side of the
Probably
Moon.
Rumors is my favorite of all time.
The Joshua Tree.
Nice.
That is the record that got me into being a record nerd.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the album that did it for you, huh?
Yep.
I don't know if I have one specific album that turned me into a music nerd, but
Well, it turned me into a nerdy record collector, music collector. Before that, being the age that I am, MTV, I was addicted to MTV. What did I want records and tapes for when I could just watch John Taylor on the TV all the time? So I was addicted to MTV. I didn't really own a lot of music. But when the Joshua Tree came around, my sister had it, actually. My sister got it on cassette, and us being 11 months apart, we shared everything.
yeah.
So when I say she had it, we both had it, because I was the one with the boombox. She had the cassette. So, and when I heard it, I'm like, I like this thing in its entirety. And mostly the records that I had, there was always something with the records I owned that I didn't really care for. Like even Purple Rain, Computer Blue.
Yeah, there's no filler in Joshua Tree, in my opinion.
No, I don't
I think the second
so.
side now is I like the second side maybe more than the first side now.
Yeah. So when I heard that and it was all great, that got me into finally buying like albums. I'm like, this is what albums are supposed to be. There were a couple of other things that led to it, but that was like the one that definitely solidified me going out and buying records and finding things and that sort of stuff.
I have the anniversary box set for that.
Yeah.
That thing is massive. It's got to be the heaviest box set I own.
Yeah.
It is
I'm
just-
not a box set person.
Would you ever do a show with Pete Pardo? Well, I'm doing a show with Steve, so I'll do it with anybody.
Who's Pete Pardo?
He's kind of more of a heavy metal kind of a
Okay.
guy, though. But I watch him. He's good.
I've done a few things with that JC guy that does the heavy metal and hard rock reviews and stuff. He's a really nice guy, very knowledgeable about other music too. He's pretty cool.
Sega.
There's a Canadian band.
I've never heard Spanish Train by Christy Berg.
No,
Isn't that the guy who sings Lady in Red?
Reading
Yeah.
it right, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that
all I
and
know.
Don't Pay
of
the-
Mr. Berg.
That and Don't Pay the Ferryman, I think, are the only two songs I know.
Honky Chateau. Yeah, Physical. That's a good one, actually. Physical
That
Graffiti.
actually, yeah.
For me, that's a perfect double album.
That may be close. Yeah. That may be
Yeah.
closest to a
Wow.
perfect double album. Yeah.
Electric
Uh,
Ladyland, that's pretty good.
I can't remember where it fell in my Led Zeppelin ranking.
Physical Graffiti is my number one, my favorite.
It wasn't as bad as Presents. That I
No,
know.
it wasn't as bad as
Oh,
Presents. My favorite is Houses of the Holy.
What is your full name? My full name is Larry Dale Graves.
I'm going to take a pass.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, that carried out my name.
for reasons that the FBI
Now
has
for my
told you,
address.
You can't
Yeah.
give your full name, can you, Marcia?
Morning, Marcia. Dream Theater.
Octavarium.
Octavarium.
Activarium, yeah. I've tried listening to them, but I can't get into them.
I've only listened to one album. It's hard.
Wow, that is his favorite album of all time.
Stephen Schnee, before we went live, I was talking about Badfinger. This is the only thing I have by them, but I was listening to No Dice on Spotify, and they're really hard to get their albums now, aren't they? But No Dice was so good.
I know Alex at Beer and Vinyl has talked about doing a Badfinger episode.
Alex and I are doing it together, yeah.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah.
When are you guys doing that?
We don't know yet. Sometime in
Okay.
February. I think it's probably going to be the week of the 12th because my wife's going to be out of town, so it'll be just a good time.
Okay. Because I want to, when you do it, make sure you say this is the one you should buy first and second and all of that. Because yesterday was the Orlando record show, and one of the sellers had a bunch of Badfinger, and they were reasonably priced, which is one of the reasons I haven't bought a lot of Badfinger albums, is they're not cheap.
Yeah.
But he was selling most of them for like $21, and I was like, I don't know which one to get. I almost texted you.
That's
Like-
a good price for No Dice or Straight Up.
Okay.
Either one of those, if you can get those for $20, yeah.
Yeah, I almost texted you, but I was like, well, I'm not going to bother him.
Yeah, would have been
So-
fun.
Taj Mahal, anybody into him?
Only know the name,
Yeah.
never listened to the music.
Yeah, I don't think I've listened to anything.
You know, he's got quite a big catalog, and I've heard some people, talk very well of him. And I have the Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus, and he's on that, and he's incredible. He's just somebody I don't know where to start with. That's one of the things that prevents me from leaping into some of these artists is I don't know where to start. Like Jack the Music Guy, he says he starts at the beginning of an artist catalog and goes all the way through. And that's great if it's somebody who's only got 5 albums, but when you're in double digits, it's tough.
What is your favorite song of all time? The Beatles, A Day in the Life. It's the greatest song of all time.
Okay. I can't pick a favorite song. That really changes day to day.
Mine, I'm going to just sound like a broken record. It's With or Without You.
Well, I just did my top 10 on Facebook, Larry. You remember that? I had Here Comes the Sun as my favorite song of all time.
Yeah, okay.
Morris is in the house.
I think I put together a list of my favorite singles of all time.
Hey, Morris.
Let me see.
Pleasure Den of the Absurd. Jeez.
What in the wide
thumbnail.
world of sports is going on here?
That's a scary thumbnail.
I don't think
Yeah.
anybody has fallen off along a ski jump yet, have they?
No.
The agony of defeat.
Wish You Here is excellent. Yeah.
What was the final album with Pete Ham? Like all 4.
God, let me look at my discography. Is it Wish You? It may be Wish You Were Here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Stephen Schnee even saw the Tommy Joey lineup during the Airwaves tour. Anyone a fan of Straub's Hero and Heroine? I remember hearing it was good, but that's about it.
I don't know anything about that.
Straight Up and Wish You Were Here are the most popular in regards to fans. Hero and Heroine. And now your host for this evening, the Rolling Stones, John Lennon. I picked up Genesis, and then there were 3 LP used in very good condition for $5. That's good.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, their self-titled album is so good.
My first choice for the final album exchange was the Groundhog's Split, and I really loved it. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Cool.
Whose offering was that?
I don't know. Split.
Oh, I think Chris offered up the Groundhog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pete Ham's last album with them was actually Head First.
Oh, yeah.
That album sat on the shelves for 25 years. They recorded it in late '74, I think, and it did not get released.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of shade there for you, Larry. Listen, Lou Reed had his hands in maybe the worst album I've had to listen to all the way through, and that was Lulu.
Are we sure Janet
almost went out of my
Sampson
mind.
isn't Glenn Calloway?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Actually, I don't mind. Like, I'm a big fan of Lou Reed, and Metallica's okay. I listened to Lulu once. It was okay.
Oof, I had a hard time. Somebody, I read a review of it that said that the critic said, I would rather listen to Primus B-sides in elevator music form before I'd ever listen to this album again.
Yes, I have used Skype in the past. All these questions.
Yeah.
I've not used Skype in probably
years.
7 years, though.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think this is
Been
a
at least 6-7
detective,
years.
and he's on to me.
Yeah, I mean, Zoom hit, and then StreamYard came along. So
David Foster.
I've not an opinion on either.
I don't know who James William Cusero is.
I think he produced, didn't he produce Chicago and the Buckinghams?
Did he?
I think, I don't know. What is your least favorite song? Jeez.
Oh, there's a lot of them. In fact, we could probably do this is a good topic for one of our live streams, Steve. I'm
I'll go with American Woman by Lenny Kravitz.
I've got an 84-way tie with every Nickelback song.
Yeah.
Actually, James Williams Cusero is from Chicago, and he did produce Chicago. So I bet you he may have produced Buckingham's too, Larry, if he's from here.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Yeah, comes up. Yep, he did Susan, Hey Baby. Yeah, also did Chad and Jeremy, Mothers of Invention.
My least favorite song is Losing My Religion by REM.
Wow. She's hating on my REM already.
Wow.
That mandolin just
Do you like mandolin and anything else?
Of course, I like the band.
Okay.
It's just that one in particular.
That song you don't like it, huh?
Ooh.
Because I was going to say, I mean, Rod Stewart uses the mandolin very well on Every Picture Tells a Story, and
Yes, I know. There's a song on there called Mandolin Wind.
yes.
On your
Marcia.
contest, Steve, for best cover Dylan covers, that was one of my choices. Was Tomorrow Is Such a Long Time.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Steve, I've tried, but I'm just not getting into Tommy Bolin.
It's okay. Me neither.
That's okay.
My sentiments are the same, and Steve and I are still on talking terms.
David Bowie actually liked Lulu. Yeah, but look where it got him.
Yeah.
Too soon?
Too soon.
Oh,
Is
A
it?
few more
You
years.
know, David Bowie was always in awe of Lou Reed.
It's been 8 years now. I don't know if it's.
It's too soon.
I don't think David Bowie would ever say anything bad about Lou Reed.
No, he wouldn't. And I think,
Has anybody heard Guns N' Roses Chinese Democracy? Because I might be doing that album next in Does This Album Suck?
I've never heard.
It's
Is it?
terrible. Yeah. That's why I voted for it for you to do
You
it.
voted? Okay.
Yeah.
I can't get like we were talking about earlier before we went on. Can't get past the voice.
Yeah.
Can't get past his voice.
And how about Kiss the Elder? Is that pretty bad too?
I've never listened to that.
It's not as bad as Guns N' Roses, but
I'm not a Kiss fan. I'm not really a Guns N' Roses fan.
Well, Morris didn't like the Dusk.
Well, I'm sorry, Morris.
Morris, you're fired from any future album exchanges.
I mean, the
3
third
out of
song
10.
is so moving.
3 out of 10 seems harsh.
Morris, you're too honest. You're supposed to like everything.
It's all right, Morris.
Yeah. We'll let it go this time, Morris.
David Foster did marry well.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Ooh, that smell.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I am not a big Leonard Skinner fan.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Yeah, don't worry, be happy. That's a pretty.
Oh, you know what? Now that Leonard Skinner came up, if you want me to pick a worse song, certainly "Sweet Home Alabama" would be in the team photo. Yes. Yes, without a doubt.
My sister was going to go see Celine Dion, and so she asked me to like design her up a T-shirt just to wear to the concert. And I told her on the condition that she would yell out "Play Freebird" at some point during the concert. So that would be awesome to hear somebody do that.
I like Glenn's story about years ago. I think when he was first, I don't think he was married yet, but he was dating his future wife, and he had to go to a Celine Dion concert. Oh, that's true love.
Man,
I mean, she is incredibly
Talented, but
talented.
not my kind of music.
And that's it. Is she sings songs I don't care for. I like, I appreciate singers with big voices like her and Barbara Streisand and Mariah Carey, but I don't like it when they use it to start showing off how great of a singer they are. Just sing. Don't throw in all the, bells and whistles to be like, I'm the greatest singer ever.
Yeah.
Because it never feels genuine to me. It always feels showy. Like Aretha Franklin, she was always very emotive. So maybe that's why I don't think Aretha Franklin is showy.
I will go with Cream's Wheels of Fire.
Eat a Peach or Wheels of Fire?
I'm going to go with Eat a Peach.
I'll go with ZZ Top Fandango for a half live, half studio.
Have I ever listened to hip hop? Yes, and I don't like most of it because I've tried. Like Drake, I go on Spotify and every other word is the N word, or it's your typical rap, like he's talking about money or girls.
Ladies, butts, yeah.
Eminem, I don't mind because he's got some intelligence with some of what he does.
I always say that there are good and bad examples of every genre. So, I mean, there are good and bad examples of hip hop as well. But there's just a lot of bad of it right now in the music industry.
One of the things that always turned me off from getting further into hip hop and all of that was so many of them in the 90s included those stupid skits.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I hate that stuff because it takes me out of the album. Like I'm not interested in what's going on next. And I don't need to hear a 10-second, 15-second skit all the time. I hate it on the Eminem records too.
There was such a push by the record industry to fill a CD, though.
Yeah.
That's what happened. is that, you know, these guys were being told that, hey, listen, you got 79 minutes to work with. I want you to put as much as you can on it. So they do that stuff, and sometimes it just made the album worse. You know?
Yeah, and that's one of the things when we did the album exchange the last time, and I offered up the CD. I was like, this is from 1993, but it's 40 minutes long. There's no
That's
CD
excellent.
bloat with this. So I'm a big proponent of saying I don't like CD bloat. But, you know, even on like the Lauryn Hill, the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, she's got those kids talking. I hate that. I hate that. And that to me ruins what essentially is a perfect album. Is I don't need to hear kids talking about romance. I wasn't interested in what teenagers said when I was 26. I'm not interested in it now. It actually keeps me from listening to it.
Are you fine with
I'm going to go with Geddy Lee.
I'm going to fight Geddy Lee or Ted. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Ted Nugent because he's going to be bringing multiple firearms.
Yeah. I know that whenever Ted Nugent used to always say that, he said, oh, I never use drugs. And I was like, I think you being in the damn Yankees, you know, begs the difference there. I'm pretty sure you have to do drugs to be in a band like that.
Well, I mean, he's got other vices, so to speak.
Not a Warren Zevon fan. In fact, I sent Marcia my
Excitable Boy
album.
My favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sent me his music on vinyl, the debut.
I bought it. So many people were talking it up. I was like, okay, I'll get it. And I just couldn't get into it.
It was very nice of him to send it to me. Because the one I had was pretty gross and disgusting.
I like that comment about Wizard of Oz.
Favorite cover song?
I already said American Woman by Lenny Kravitz. It's horrible.
This one would take me some time to think on.
Yeah.
Behind Blue Eyes by Limp Bizkit or Madonna doing American Pie.
Yeah, her version of American Pie is pretty gross, but you know, I'm so over that song, I don't even care about it.
If you're going to listen to Behind Blue Eyes, are you going to listen to the Who's version or a Limp Bizkit?
Certainly not Limp Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit doesn't even listen to that version.
Yes, Morris, we're all honest except for Steve. Steve bullshits a lot.
Yeah, it would take me some time. I think we did that. Didn't we do bad cover songs on a live stream, Steve?
Yes, we did. Yeah. Thought for sure we did.
Don't care for?
I don't care for. We can say what we want on my channel.
Is that supposed to?
I don't know.
Is that an inside joke or something?
I don't care for that comment, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I don't care for that comment.
Should I say I fucking hate it? I don't think Larry's big on the swearing.
Fuck no. No, I don't. No, the occasional swear word doesn't bother me at all. It's just constant swearing.
I have a tendency to swear a lot when I've been drinking. Watch the live stream with me and Steve tonight. You'll find that out.
Yeah.
Good morning, Barry.
Tune in about 8 hours from now.
I agree with this statement. M&M's with peanuts is okay. Yes.
Oh, it's better than okay. That's like my favorite candy.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with that too. Yeah.
Same.
That's excellent. Well said.
Yeah. Because I do like space in a guitar solo. I don't need 50 notes every second.
Best second album of all time.
Best second album of all time. Huh.
Everybody knows This Is Nowhere.
That's a good one.
It's the first one that came into my head, so that's the one I'm going with.
It's not my favorite Black Sabbath album, but Paranoid is pretty damn good for
Led Zeppelin 2.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
I know, Ram. Thank you.
There you go. Maybe the Bends, Radiohead. I'll throw them in there.
Yeah.
That in there.
Bingo. That's it. Yes. Yeah.
I don't mind Driving Rain. It's just too long.
Perhaps you didn't see my review on Chaos and Creation, where I gave it like 2.5 out of 10.
Oof.
He burnt Paul McCartney down to the ground.
Yeah.
With that
Really?
And that's why the album exchange ended.
Wow.
There's many reasons why it ended.
I can be honest with you now, Larry. He asked me, should I even do this? He's like, he was worried he was going to alienate everybody.
He was scared it would be
He
the
by
last.
taking down Paul McCartney.
I had contemplated giving it a 1.
So and Alex from Beer and Vinyl was like, take it down.
I'd like to ask Shane B, what's a good rap artist to check out?
Current? I mean, you're going to ask him
Yeah.
current?
Yeah, current. Fairly current.
Have you listened to any Tribe Called Quest, Larry?
Yes, I've listened to all their stuff.
You might like A Tribe Called Quest.
For current rap artists, I like Little Sims. She's a British rapper. Very, very talented. She was on Venom 2 movie. She was the rapper that was up on stage in Venom 2. So she has a really unique style. Not a lot of cussing in it. You know, she doesn't sexualize herself in any way. It's good stuff.
So, see, a band like that, like Tool, I can
Yeah.
see if it, to have a 78-minute CD, if you haven't made an album in 5 years, that's different, right?
Yeah.
Giving me a double album, basically.
Yeah.
Plus their process dictates the length of time it takes Tool to make albums, because they're never in the studio together.
Yeah. And he's out in his vineyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lawyers, Guns, and Money. Oh, and I just saw a Pocket Full of Heap. He did a reaction to the Beatles' I Want You, She's So Heavy. Excellent. Some of these young people have not heard, I know some people don't believe, some of these reactions, and some are fake, but he hasn't listened to a lot of Beatles. And so he was doing a reaction to I Want You, She's So Heavy today, and he liked it. Yeah.
Pocket Full of Heap should like my hoodie.
Yeah.
Uriah.
What is your favorite cover song? One of my favorites is Yes's America. What else?
That's a hard one too.
Hurt. Johnny Cash's Hurt, right
Yeah.
up there.
If we're gonna go back to Bad Company, I'm gonna say Harry Nilsson.
You mean Badfinger? Yeah, doing
Yeah, Badfinger. Sorry.
Without You.
Yeah, Without You.
The Brady Bunch's version of American Pie. I gotta hear that.
Yeah, that Brady Bunch version was the bomb.
That's the comment of the day right there, Stephen.
I might be with you on Without You, because I've always said to me that is my favorite male vocal performance.
Yeah, I think that might be it. But for the longest time, I didn't even know it was a cover song. So if I didn't know it was a cover song, can I say it's my favorite? I don't know. Aretha Franklin's cover of The Weight is pretty goddamn good. I mean, any of her cover songs, quite frankly. Oh Me, Oh My is a great cover song she does.
Lucy in the Sky by William Shatner.
He does Common People too on that album.
A friend of mine gave me that.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he does Common
I
People.
actually kind of want to hear that. I bet he probably does a pretty good version of it.
Oh yeah, I mean it's entertaining. Let's put it that way. It's great.
Yep. What's this? Peanut. I've never had Goobers. I don't think they're in
Peanut
Canada.
M&Ms. There's no crunchy, crispy shell on Goobers.
Right. That's the only difference, I think.
Goobers. Hallowed Ground by Violent Femmes.
That's pretty decent, actually.
No, Absolutely Free. Yeah. Frank Zappa. Mary Graves, Love Explosion's second album, Rock That Sock.
Oh, it's too early in the morning to turn
Let's
that
see,
blue.
can I block
Wow.
Stephen Schnee? That's a good one. Days of Future Past. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, they completely changed their sound. And
Was that not the first progressive album? Progressive pop rock.
I would say so.
I would probably say yes. Yeah.
Or no, would you say Sgt. Pepper's was the first progressive?
I don't see that as a progressive rock album, but that's
No,
just me.
progressive pop.
Oh, progressive pop. Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, it was all kind of leading in that direction, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I've never heard the first Moody Blues album. I know it was just like pop.
No, it's like
Yeah, it's got Go Now on it.
Oh, now.
yeah, it's just I have it.
I got
It's
Little
Is that
Talent.
actually a rapper? That'd be a good name.
it's
Well, tell.
like 60s blues kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. It's just British Invasion.
Yeah, it's called The Magnificent Moody's, the first album.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it.
Yeah.
It's a good listen. It's totally not offensive in any way. It's a good listen.
But those 7 albums in a row by the Moody Blues in the 60s, early 70s,
Oh, yeah.
that's one of the best runs of albums ever. Because
Especially for that long of a stretch, 7 albums.
Yeah.
I have to get back into them, I think. It's been a long, long time since I've explored their catalog. I mean, their albums are so cheap and you see them everywhere, but they're also always beat to hell.
I like Richard Wright more.
Tony K for me, yes. Annie Lennox.
But it's a little different. To me, Richard Wright is more of a piano player. Tony K is more of an organ player.
Yeah, that whole album of Annie Lennox is all covers. They're all excellent, actually. Different.
Yeah, I Am the Walrus by Spooky Tooth. Yeah.
Yeah. I got turned on to Spooky Tooth with the Mirror album.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's a good album.
I've heard quite a number of people say this about Elton John's version. Lucy in the Sky.
Best keyboardist of all time.
Hard for me to be objective on that because I do not like the Doors. So
It's up to
Probably. I mean, my favorite keyboardist.
Mine is John Lord.
Tori Amos, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, she's really good. Ben Folds is good.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to find one where, you know, that stands out enough in rock music. You know, it's tough.
I mean,
Tony
Elton
Banks.
John is, I think, the obvious answer, or Billy Joel, but, you know, take those two out of the equation.
Who's the keyboardist for yes, guys, I'm losing it here.
Rick Wakeman.
There you go. That'd probably be up there.
Bill Bruford or Alan White. I'm going to go with Alan White because he's been in Yes for so many years. Oh, saw them live in '79. Tony K was their keyboardist.
Yeah. He was also in a band called Detective, who put out 2 albums in '77. You ever heard Detective?
I've heard of the band, yeah.
They were on the.
You sent me one of their albums, didn't you, Steve?
Pardon me?
Did you send me one of their albums?
Detective? I don't think so.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
Somebody did when I won a contest or something. I've got it. I've got one of their albums.
Yeah.
The Beatles still done more in just 7 years than anybody else. That's right, Morris.
I will agree with that argument, yes.
It would be hard to dispute that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would attempt
to go from what I Want to Hold Your Hand in 1964 to Yeah, Tomorrow Never Goes like 2 years later.
Yeah.
Alan White. Okay, Tyler the Creator.
Oh yeah, my nephew likes him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's okay.
How old your nephew?
23.
23. I do like Style Council.
No.
Yeah. You don't like the song like Ever Changing Moods, even that song? Wow.
Paul Weller, I have discovered I just don't care for his stuff. And I know he is incredibly talented, but I don't.
Well, time to boot somebody off of the live chat.
I'm with you. I'm not a fan of his solo stuff or the jam. But
here's the thing. Why don't I like the jam? Because they're so influenced by the Kinks and the Who, like some of my favorite bands of all time, and I can't get into the jam. That makes no sense. But I can't. And then I've listened to one or two of his solo albums, and no.
I like Stanley Road. I think that's a really good album.
Yeah.
And then that Style Council album, it's very heavily jazz influenced, Steve. So
it is a bit jazzy. Yeah.
It's one of my words.
I was never a big Emerson, Lake and Palmer fan.
If you want to showboat Keith Emerson as your man, but I'm gonna take.
You mean a guy who performs a Ice Capade show isn't showboating
in a cake?
No. I'm just talking about at the keyboard. I mean, there was a time Rick Wakeman during a Yes concert, because he was so fed up with the direction they had gone with Tails and Relayer. During a concert, he ordered a curry and had it delivered to him at a keyboard.
I watched this BBC documentary about prog rock that was hosted by Rick Wakeman.
Oh, he's a funny guy.
And yeah, he was hysterical. Like he was poking fun at himself for doing a nice show.
Yeah.
And I want to say that documentary was probably 12 years old. I had watched it on YouTube and I enjoyed the hell out of it. But I still am not a prog rock.
Well, look at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when Yes were there, and Rick Wakeman basically did this pretty naughty comedy bit, right? And Steve, you could see Steve Howe wasn't too happy, right? Oh, Tori Amos. I've never really listened to
I think Little Earthquakes is excellent. Under the Pink's pretty good for her.
Yeah.
Never heard of Tori Amos.
Not the biggest fan of Boys for Pele because I just don't care for all the harpsichord.
No, I don't. Yeah.
She's still incredibly talented.
Steve,
she's really good friends with Neil Gaiman, the writer.
You've just been
really close.
You've just been banned from the show, I think, Steve.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's harsh. I've listened to like 3 of his albums. I like him.
Yeah, Ken Hensley. Yeah.
Yep. Well, okay. Pocket full of heap. Ken Hensley.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, with Demons and Wizards. Yeah.
Album holding it up. Yes. Although Ken Hensley is my number 2 keyboardist.
Yeah.
I don't know who Mick Foley is.
Is he talking about Ellen Foley?
No, Mick Foley. He said.
You know, I don't like the Doors' debut album. I like L.A. Woman, I think, is their best. But I got everybody just hates on me when I say that. But
I'm just not a big Doors fan. We've talked about that, actually, Steve and
I have a greatest hits of theirs, and that's something I might pull out maybe once every 7-8 years. That's it.
Mitch Mitchell. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix. Oh, I missed one here. Bread was actually a pretty good band.
You can't put Bread in this. You know, don't demean Bread by putting Air Supply next to their name.
Just because they got a lame name.
You know what? I'm going to say it. I like Air Supply. I like Bread. I think they made incredible singles.
Oh,
Both
I'm
of
not going to
them.
debate that they were successful for sure, but
Yeah.
No, I'm saying like they make
They were
great singles.
successful.
Like I like them. I think their singles are great. I'm never gonna buy either one of their albums, but
And Brett even went a little heavy with like Mother Freedom.
when I hear either one of them on the radio, I'm not changing the channel.
I would for Air Supply. It would depend upon the Brett song.
No, I think Lost in Love is a great song.
I can't listen to Diary.
somebody asked me if I'd listen to Air Supply. I go, is it being sampled for a hip hop song?
I mean, that's Jim
I
Steinman.
listen to it.
You know, Jim Steinman worked with them.
Definitely.
Jan Hammer.
Juan Hammer. Ooh.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that name very much.
See, even Shane B likes Brett.
Okay.
Whole wheat, pumpernickel.
Oh well, I was just
Mike Garson.
listening to Ziggy, Aladdin Sane, and Pinups this morning. I played all 3 albums this morning, and the keyboards, especially on Aladdin Sane, and
They're insane.
Great on
Really
it.
good.
Is Pinups the cover album, Steve?
Pardon me?
Is Pinups the cover album?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
That's fine, Pow.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a 90s sounding album. But oh well.
I think Powell's going to miss the album exchange probably
Yeah.
more than anyone. Powell was very active.
The Poppy Family or Edward Bear.
Edward Bear opened for Led Zeppelin one
Yeah.
month.
So I'll go with Edward Bear. This is a good one. Supertramp or ELO?
ELO.
ELO. I mean,
ELO.
Supertramp.
Hands down.
I think Supertramp
ELO.
had like maybe the
Yes.
one album. If you had a best album versus the best album, Supertramp may take that. But overall,
Yeah.
ELO.
Body of
Out of
work,
the
I would
blue-
take ELO, but if, man, Crime
Out of
of
the Blue
Century,
could be a perfect double album.
Yeah, Crime of the Century.
hard for me to pass up Crime of the Century.
Easy for me.
If a picture paints 1,000 words, then why can't I have you? Thank you.
Okay.
Burton Cummings or David Clayton Thomas of Blood, Sweat, and Tears?
Well, I got to take Burton Cummings.
Yeah, Burton
Yeah,
Cummings.
Burton Cummings.
I hate that band. Or should I say I don't care for it.
Yes,
Oh yeah, make sure you use that phrase more than you need to. Yeah, that's the point
ELO.
right there.
ELO.
Kansas.
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 I don't even think I'd want to vote on this. This is
I have
I'm not
no
much for
opinion.
progressive pop bands like that. They're just
No, you got to take the first 3 Kansas albums. They are not poppy at all. Those
They're not.
first
So,
3,
you know, Massey and I, we're the same generation.
Yeah,
So
it's no
our
different.
our opinions about those bands are completely different than you and Larry's.
because I had somebody making this huge argument about Kansas needs to be in the Hall of Fame, and I'm like, on what merit though? I mean, you know, most of their album, they only sold 15 million copies of their albums worldwide, and 9 million of it was their greatest hits. I mean, that's kind of tough to.
Crooner.
David. ELO for me, but Supertramp is good too. Yep.
Ralph's got a Samoyed. I had a Samoyed.
6.
Oh,
Best album for a
Oh.
hangover.
Wow. Wow.
Master of Puppets, Metallica.
you know,
I'd say like Neil Young's Comes a Time, something mellow.
I was gonna say, you know what I like to listen to when I'm hungover is some Willie Nelson.
Man.
Really,
Yeah. Like Redheaded Stranger.
Stardust is a good album, maybe to do.
His Christofferson covers album is really good when you've got a hangover. Especially because he sings Sunday Morning Coming Down. Looking for my cleanest, dirtiest shirt.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, this one here. Poco.
Poco.
They're all right.
They had that slight resurgence, like what? And it was like the late 80s.
Late 70s.
Yeah.
Okay.
By that time, though, Richie Foray was gone, so it's not even like it's the same band.
I've listened to Left Overture. Of course, because that's the one that, has like, the one song on it.
That's Carrie Ann Wayward Son.
Yeah.
And Dust in the Wind is on the next album, Point of No Return.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a problem for them.
Yeah.
And that album was huge. Even I remember it.
Yeah.
Smash
And I can't even listen to that album now, Breakfast in America.
Cat Stevens.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's nice and soft.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Sure.
I saw Cat Stevens live.
Was it Cat Stevens or Yusuf?
It was in the mid 70s.
Oh, okay.
Commander Cody, I never really listened to him.
I know Hot Rod Lincoln, and that's it. I don't know anything beyond that. Suggestions, throw them out.
Adam Hart Mother. I've listened to In the Wake of Poseidon. I was very disappointed in that album.
Wake of Poseidon might be a little shocking with a hangover. If that's what he's using that for, I don't know.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that would be too challenging.
I think you could listen to Hot Rats, I mean, I think it'd be all right.
No. No.
April Wine Bob. Great band.
Ian Thomas.
I know nothing by Ian Thomas.
Redheaded Stranger. The Verve, I've never really, no.
Yeah, I've listened to The Verve.
Yeah, I have too.
They had Urban Hymns, I think, was their big album they had in the late 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. I like Richard Ashcroft's solo stuff.
I have one or two of his solo CDs. I should probably get back into them. The one I really like a lot, so I should pick it up again.
Which one? The one with Come On People?
The first one.
The first one. That's his best one, yeah.
Yeah.
The hell is that called? Is that called Human Conditions or
Terry Jacks?
I mean, I've got it in my bedroom. I could go.
I thought Terry Jacks was just a one-hit wonder.
We had joy, we had
fun, we had seasons in this. That's a cover song, isn't it?
Alone with Everybody? That one?
Yeah, yes, that's a good album.
Yes.
That is a very good album. But I will tell you this, I think if you want just more of a pop album to listen to, this album of his, Rebel.
Let me go get it.
Natural Rebel, okay.
Yeah, fantastic album.
The Chipmunks Christmas album. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big Zappa fan. When I bought Thing Fish back in the day, one of the worst albums ever. 3 albums, too.
Does Glenn like that album?
No.
So it must be really bad.
Suzanne Vega albums are great for a hangover.
Solitude Standing and I'm trying to think of the other one.
Does one of those have Luca, whatever?
Yeah, one of them does.
We had joy, we had fun, we had burgers on a bun. Wow. Loggins and Messina.
All right. This is the one.
Walter Becker or Garfunkel.
Go ahead and answer that one, Marcia. Yeah, that's Human Conditions. Yes, that's a good one.
Art Garfunkel.
Well, we knew that.
I mean, the man sings like an angel.
Well, and Walter Becker is guilty by association.
Yes. Oh, come on, come here. No, okay.
That the new one?
That's the new one.
Steve, which Sparks album should I start with?
Come On to My House.
Yeah, Steve wasn't a fan.
No.
I've listened to that. I've listened to Propaganda recently.
And you liked it more with every listen, right, Steve?
I did. I ended up buying it.
Yeah.
So I haven't gone beyond that, but is Propaganda the next album?
Yeah, it's really good too.
Yeah,
it might be even better than Kimono My House.
Is it similar in sound?
Yeah,
or?
It's the only one that is similar. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Alone with Everybody.
Alone with Everybody, yeah.
Look, it's Music Talk with John. And he says, hey,
John.
guys.
Hi, John.
Hey, John.
He was on our live stream, our
Yeah.
last live stream. It was
Yeah.
a lot of fun having him on.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Hey,
He's
John,
in-
did you go to the record show yesterday? Or this weekend, I should say?
Ambient music. Yeah, anything by Brian Eno would be unobtrusive if you had a hangover, that's for sure.
or Airbag. Airbag is good for that.
Belle and Sebastian.
Yeah, they got the same really subdued tones, I guess.
That just makes me want to sleep. Listening to ambient.
Yeah, I've never heard that Francisco Zappa album.
Human conditions.
Yeah, this
Hey,
one is
John.
real good.
So, Steve, what's new with your channel?
What's new with my channel? Well, tonight's the live stream with Trevor and Marcia, and our special guest will be Anthony Gambler 812. And what are our three
Who
topics?
is an incredible person. Please check out his channel, everybody.
What are our three topics?
Ugly record covers,
Yeah.
or record covers, or albums we think are better than their record covers.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good one. Yeah.
And, we're doing Valentine's kind of theme
Valentine's
song.
Day, yeah, and then
And then the other one is, I've got them sitting right here. I should be able to tell from the.
I was gonna say I've not yet pulled them. I know what I'm pulling, but I've not yet done it.
Got them all mixed up. I don't know. You'll have to tune in to find out.
Or watch Steve's video.
Yeah.
And Brian, what's coming up on your channel?
We're releasing Ridley Scott's top 10 movies tomorrow.
Oh,
And then we're filming tomorrow. We're going to film the top 5 movies of 1977 and release it the following week. So Ridley Scott was a little harder to do. He has the catalog, but it's not a strong catalog as some of the others we've covered.
And Marcia's just coasting away. Doesn't make videos, but gains viewers like crazy.
I have been sick. I also have a new cat, so I am now, a single mother of 2 cats.
Yeah.
One of them being a Siamese cat, so she's very demanding. But I went to a record show yesterday, so I might be putting together a record show video. I wanted to do Stephen Schnee's 80s tag, but I didn't get around to it because I got sick and, got a new cat that I have to pay attention to or she'll throw a fit. But I might do it. It might be late.
Go with Kimono My House, then propaganda.
Then propaganda. I will have to check it out.
Yeah, John, I won't be buying anything for quite some time. I've got quite a backlog of stuff I need to listen to, so I totally understand that.
None of us like the Beatles.
Where's Beetle Fest at?
I've tried to get into Zappa for decades, but nothing has ever grabbed me. And Dancing Fool is one of the worst songs ever, even worse than Too
Oh
Shy.
yeah, Too Shy. That's pretty bad. Yeah,
that was terrible.
That could make my list of worst songs. Although, I think I might hate the Lamal song from the Never Ending Story even worse.
I've got to listen to that new Billy Joel song on my Patreon. Has anybody else heard it?
I listened to it. They had to have doctored his voice because there's no way he's singing that high now.
Yeah. It's not even a strong song either. It's mediocre at best.
Yeah.
That's okay, John. You don't have to watch. You can catch the rerun tomorrow.
That's right. Or you could DVR your the Grammys and watch that later.
Yeah, fast forward through all the commercials
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We don't have commercials.
and shots of Taylor Swift in the audience.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten 2 stories pop up on my Google feed about who Taylor Swift is sitting next to at the Grammys. I have no issues with Taylor Swift and her music, and
Yeah.
she is a hard worker, but I need her to go away because she's just so overexposed. I can't tolerate
Yeah, but that
all
was
of
the
the interest
same
in her
for
life like
like
that. It's
that
too
was the
much.
same with Michael Jackson, Elton John, all of these big superstars. At one point, you got so sick of them, right? Michael
Yeah, that's right.
Jackson, and
So I'm saying she needs to go away.
yeah,
She needs to go underground. And I say that because I think if she wants to sustain a career. Thank you, Stephen. This was actually going to be my next suggestion for the album exchange.
Was it going to be your mystery or?
No, I was going to present it.
stop bringing up the album exchange.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Larry therapist said he's not allowed to
Such
discuss
great
it.
memories.
She'll never be spoken of again.
And I was thinking it would go on for like 5 years.
Well, I mean, it was a lot of work, and I will admit to the audience, like, we all had different tastes, and it was hard to find something to bring every week that people would find appealing. That was real stressful. The first couple of weeks it wasn't so bad. I didn't feel the pressure, but after that it was. And then Larry suggested the mystery album, and that alleviated a lot of stress because I could just pick something 2 seconds before. And then with myself, I wanted to listen to the album again before I presented it.
That's
so
right.
that I had something to talk about to refresh my memory, or if it was even as good as I remembered it being.
Is there a least favorite song by one of your favorite bands?
That's our other topic tonight. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, we'll save it for your show then. Yeah.
Okay. Well, go. You can throw one out, Larry, if you want.
I can't think of anything.
No.
Well, yeah, John Lennon's "I Don't Want to Die," that soldier song.
I don't want to be a soldier, Mama.
I like that.
Actually, Stephen, the least popular music tag was my Tommy Bolin tag. I only got 3 entries. But I thank all those who participated.
I recorded a video. Seriously, I did. And then halfway through it, it's like I didn't have enough to do it. And I just said, forget it.
Yeah. Well, it was done very tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
I didn't expect many to respond. Actually, I didn't think anybody would respond. So,
I don't know the other person.
Buddy Rich always drove me crazy on Johnny Carson.
And Buddy Rich was such a nice person. Beatlefest in New York City.
Okay.
New York City, all right. Makes sense.
I can't get into Zappa either. They're just comedy. They're not all comedy records. You have to listen. He's released a lot of serious music like Hot Rats and the Grand Wazoo, and
he's just too much for me.
Hey, lady and lads, I have to run, but I subscribed to 3 of you just now. Already subscribed to Larry. Great fun. This was more fun than listening to hangover music. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Compliment. Take care. Have a nice Sunday.
At first, when I subscribed to 3 of you, I was like, okay, who's the one who's being left out?
I'd be like, I know it's me.
Well, one that there's one I can think of. There's a couple. Paul McCartney's Ebony and Ivory. I hate it and I like it at the same time. And his Christmas song.
Those are kind of earworm songs. You hate them, but you can't get them out of your head if you hear them.
Yeah.
A lot of times for me, songs we like, but we hate at the same time are ones that have questionable lyrics. Like, Johnny, Are You Queer? by Josie Cotton.
Josie Cotton, yeah.
Yeah, I love that song, but it's just in such poor taste. So that's where I usually stand with those kind of things. Or like My Sharona. I love it, but it's about an underage girl.
Yeah, it's pretty inappropriate.
So that's the kind of stuff I find myself.
You got a lot of those songs, Sweet 16 and
Young Girl by yeah.
I saw her standing there, and yep.
Cool.
Okay.
Yes,
Bob says,
GWA.
I'm tired of seeing Taylor Swift and her boyfriend go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's getting a little old.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny he says that because I watched a couple of months ago Johnny Carson channel on YouTube. You know, they'll put up clips every day, and they had Michael Jackson on there with the Jackson 5. And he was the one that, you know, sat in the chair closest to Johnny and was talking to him. And he seemed so much more comfortable in his skin as a teenager than he did as an adult. It was amazing to see how he, like, developmentally seemed to go backwards.
Ian Anderson.
Yes, I'm going with Ian Anderson. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you guys ever heard, but Marcia's taking up the flute. She's going to have her own prog rock band as soon as she masters the flute.
I am.
You've been practicing aqualung all afternoon.
Tell him, Larry.
I'm starting out on the recorder.
Tell him, Steve.
Go ahead.
Well, we actually had a big fight at the end of our last live chat. And
we all
we're
hate Glenn.
actually not talking to each other except during a live chat like this. No,
it was just
there's a couple of personal reasons, but we're all fine with each other. And Glenn's just not here because of personal reasons for today, but he'll be back and we're all good.
Yeah, we're all friends.
Yeah.
It just
semi-friends.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not like I'm sending Larry, you know, any banana bread when I have too much of it in the freezer. It's scheduling is really difficult with 5 people. That's primarily what it boiled down
and
to.
I was doing all the work editing.
Yeah, he was. Which I am exceptionally grateful for.
And I maintained a spreadsheet.
And I just showed up with my sparkling personality.
So that's a good question here. Would you consider any musicians like a musical genius? Because I would with Frank Zappa, with Ian Anderson, even though he's not my favorite band.
I would think Prince definitely was. Beck even is actually tremendously talented.
Jeff Lynne.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Definitely. Because he can do everything.
His hands in
incredible
producing alone.
Yeah,
fantastic.
His production, yeah.
You know, I saw Beck a couple months ago performing with the Royal Philharmonic here in Orlando. It was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. And it was performed, you know, like a symphony in that it started right at 7:30 and it ended at 9 o'clock. And, you know, he was on stage with a 90-piece orchestra. It was incredible. It was a really, really cool experience.
I would say I would agree with Shane. I think that might be the best career move she can make right now is take 3 years off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Finish out this tour and
yeah, because the more oversaturated she gets, the more people are gonna turn away. So
Johnny B. Goodway.
Well, people are just going to keep waiting for the rails to come off. They're going to wait. They're going to wait for you to get busted for that drinking and driving one time and get busted for drug possession. They're going to be looking for it, and they're waiting for you to fail now.
yeah, how many official albums does he have?
I think over 60. I've got maybe 40, 45.
have you seen the documentary of him, Steve?
Yeah, it was good.
I haven't seen it now.
It should have been longer though. Like an artist like him, you can't cover his whole life in 90 minutes.
I mean, he recorded every single thing
Yeah.
he did. Like just his vault
Yeah.
they showed is just crazy.
You remember who carries it?
It was on Netflix.
Hulu.
Netflix, Amazon.
I think it was Hulu that I saw it.
I'm watching Alexander the Great right now, so I've got one episode of that left.
I'm starting season 4 of Northern Exposure.
Oh, we've only done season 1, so wow, you're zipping through. Although you were homesick and
I was homesick for like a week.
Oh yeah, that was good for a binge.
Yeah, I'm binging Sopranos.
Oh,
I
right.
never watched the whole
Oh,
series.
you didn't watch it first time around?
No, I did not. So I've been kind of plugging through.
How far are you?
I am in season 3.
Okay.
So,
Larry, you binging anything?
I just watched the documentary on We Are the World. It was pretty good.
Oh, my sister called me to tell me all about it because I don't have Netflix anymore.
Yeah. And it shows more of Bob Dylan, and you can tell like he's pretty uncomfortable being there because he's surrounded by all these great singers, right?
Yeah.
And at one point, Stevie Wonder, I think he asked Stevie Wonder for like, help me, Stevie. And so Stevie got on the keyboard and he's actually doing an impersonation of Bob Dylan singing. It was pretty good. Like, yeah. Explain the personal reasons, Larry.
Well, that's why they're personal.
Yeah.
He's just too sensitive.
Yeah.
Larry could not take the criticism.
His albums.
Yep. We're calling it the Ween factor. Larry just
flautist.
could not handle the criticism.
it's a flautist, not a flutist.
A flutist. Musical genius, Ray Charles. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good one.
When the album exchange starts again, do you think you guys will have room for one more? There's not going to be any further album exchanges. It's done.
That doesn't, I mean, I don't know if Larry and Glenn are going to go back to what it was that they were doing, but it's a lot easier for them to do that since they live in the same town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you guys didn't really have any kind of set schedule for that either, did
No.
you? It was just kind of whenever you happened
But
to
I
see
don't want to
each other.
listen to 5 of Glenn's CDs he gives me anymore.
He's probably going to give you that bad doom scroller one.
Yeah.
Usually, I remember when during ours, he kept pushing guys into ecstasy, and not the drug, but the band.
That's another reason we ended it.
Got to clarify that so that some FDA agent shows up on his doorstep.
You guys all had glow sticks at your
Larry and Glenn at a rave.
meetups.
Sorry, Glenn. Sorry for the phone call from the police. Funny.
Well,
So
Phil
he was
Collins.
pushing ecstasy and what else?
Oh, the other one was the Tedeschi truck driver.
Yeah.
The truckers or whatever. Yeah, he pushed that a lot. Yeah.
Steve actually bought
I
some
bought
because
that,
he
yeah.
did bring one of their albums to the album exchange.
Yeah.
That Phil Collins is a damn good drummer. So
He is a good drummer.
yeah.
You know, and he is a really good producer. I wasn't aware of all the stuff he produced outside of the Genesis and Phil Collins realm either. He did, a lot of good stuff there.
Hugely influenced by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Phil was. So.
You mean Philip Bailey wasn't just a choice he
No,
grabbed out of thin air?
You listen to a lot of his solo stuff, especially. You could hear Earth, Wind, and Fire in that music of his.
His autobiography was pretty good. I like the way he wrote.
Isn't he kind of obsessive too about his work? Like total workaholic.
I just remember him being very honest about how he fucked up his marriage. That he owned up to it. So
Multiple ones, right?
yeah.
I'm listening to the Bruce Springsteen autobiography right now.
I am not a James Taylor fan.
He's
Nope.
okay. I don't mind him.
Not at all.
No.
That's one of my worst favorite songs is Mockingbird. Oh God,
yeah,
that's
that is
terrible.
yeah, that's right up there with Muskrat Love.
Muskrat Love.
I'd rather listen to Muskrat Love. Tony Tennille has a fantastic voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Kind
know.
of surprising. All those years she was married to the captain,
The
and
captain.
I guess they didn't have a great marriage after all.
Yeah.
So here's a good question then. Since we're talking about hangovers, like if your roommate, if you know that he has a hangover and you're getting ready to leave for the day, and you want to make sure that he gets up, what song would you put on repeat to make sure he'll climb his ass out of bed and turn it off?
Oh man.
Why would I need to get his ass out of bed?
No, that's just so he won't be late for work.
And it's not my problem.
I would put on the live version of Grand Funk's "Into the Sun."
Oh yeah.
I mean, Mel Shocker is just killing the bass on that song,
Yeah.
and that's 12. That clocks in at 12 minutes.
Yeah.
I would probably put on like the shrillest woman singer I could think of. I don't know who that is right now.
I think I'd put something annoying on, not that it's a bad song, but I think if I put on the Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald on repeat, sooner or later he's getting out of the bed.
All the scat singing. Yeah.
That would be hard. That's a weird. I've not had a roommate in 20 plus years.
Yeah, it's been since the military since I've had one. So.
Neil Diamond, but Tony Orlando, like I respect these, I know some people laugh at people like that, but they're both talented.
I like Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond in the 60s can't be beat as far as I'm concerned. I love his poppy stuff.
What was that live album? What was the name of the live album, Steve?
Hot August Night.
Yeah. I mean, that would be that was like all filler. I mean all killer, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it shows 62 official studio albums for Frank Zappa.
Yeah.
So,
and a couple of them are pretty good.
And then, I mean, but he's like most, right? Probably more. And 62 is a hell of a lot of albums to put out in a lifetime, but I'm sure posthumously he's probably doubled that, right?
They're still pumping them out.
Yeah, the estate is just,
But they're high quality,
churning
they're really
and
good
churning.
box sets and everything. Yeah.
And then does he have a big live catalog too?
Oh yeah. Like even his studio albums, like they were sometimes live also, or half live, or he'd even mix studio with live. He was like just a genius.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not thinking of going into it, but that is an impressive body of work, if anything. And he never really sold, right? Never really sold big.
Yeah, he did okay. Yeah. His albums
got like one top 40 hit, right? Like Valley Girl. I mean, I think came out in the 80s, was like a top 10.
Yeah, Roxy and Elsewhere is an excellent live album. Yeah.
Let's see,
what do you guys and gals think of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard? Yeah, I've loved everything I've heard.
I like him.
I've not heard. I've tried. I bought one album without hearing it. That album I do not like. But I guess they changed their sound quite a bit. So
yeah, that's what I understand, and that's why I've not bothered with them. Again, they're just too prolific, and I don't know where to start with them.
I bought Infinity Anagon or something like that. I can't remember the name of it.
That's a good one. Yeah, just Yoko.
I like the Yoko Ono songs on Double Fantasy.
Yeah, Trevor remembered Larry offered up a Yoko CD. That's what killed the album exchange, quite frankly, Larry.
Yoko killed the album exchange. Hashtag. Make sure there's a hashtag for your live chat. Yoko killed the album exchange.
Yoko not only broke up the Beatles, she broke up the album exchange.
It doesn't matter how many albums they have. I want them all.
Frank's best album hit number 21, Shake Your Booty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is what, 1979.
Yeah.
And I can't say I ever heard that.
Vanilla
Fudge or
Fudge,
Dan
Dan.
Fogelberg doesn't quite seem to be.
They're so alike, it's hard to choose.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, wasn't he like the lead guitarist for them? No.
I saw Dan Fogelberg too many times.
Did you really?
Girl I dated loved him.
Oh, okay. She would. Which one was her favorite, leader of the band or Old Anxiety?
No, it would have been more of
Longer than
Blue album cover, Netherlands.
I remember being a
And
kid.
Souvenirs.
That song "Old Anxiety" would come on, and I just remember it being the most overwrought, syrupy piece of middle-aged tripe I had ever heard. And at the time, I didn't know how to say any of that. I just hated it.
Yep. Frank Zappa's Apostrophe went to number 10, Steve.
What year is that album?
74.
73, I think
Let's see.
74.
I'm looking here. Oh, yes, I missed that. Sorry. Yeah, it's got such a small entry. Yeah, that went gold. That and Overnight Sensation both went gold. Looks like the only two in the U.S. that went gold.
Hydrovane.
What's
I don't
that?
even remember that.
I don't know what it is.
That's it. Non-gag, Infinity. Yeah.
paper
Yeah.
machine.
Mrs. Miller.
Morris, I might take a listen on YouTube, but I'm not going to spend the money.
Color gone. Allowed.
This is got to be all Frank Zappa stuff, right?
Yeah. This is
No,
all
this is
King Gizzard stuff.
King Gizzard stuff.
And to me, it's very trivial of me to say it, but I just it's like they're trying too hard with the album names, you know?
Yeah, I'm starting to lose interest in there's weird, and then there's weird for the sake of being weird. And when it gets into this weird for the sake of being weird, I'm out, you know?
Yeah, I think I ran into that when I ran Ween's discography. You know, they have some really good albums, and Larry likes Quebec, and of course, Moloch is really good as well.
I listened to Quebec, yeah.
But their earlier stuff, it just felt like they were noise rockers for the sake of being noise rockers. There wasn't anything there. You know, I listened to all their stuff, and it's like it just didn't jump out at me. They got better though. I mean, obviously, by the time the Mullets came around, they were starting to hit their stride, but.
And I might have a different opinion on the weirdness of stuff if I had heard it in my 20s. Now I'm just cynical and cold, so I don't find it interesting.
I just looked up King Gizzard's discography. Their first album came out in 2012. They have released 25 proper studio albums in there.
Yeah.
crazy. That's like when I heard them, it's, you know, I had an interest in them, and then they had like 20 albums out at the time. It's like, forget it. I'm not going to get into, I'm not buying 20. If I really like an artist, I want their albums, right? But I'm not buying 20 albums.
Same. That's why I had said earlier, like sometimes I'm just too intimidated by somebody's catalog to jump in and take a dive and listen to something.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
Yeah, I've got that in an airplane over the sea.
I have that, and it's a hard album to get into.
It really is tough.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like maybe 2 songs on there that are, you know, could have been singles, or maybe one was the Holland one, but
I just find it to be incredibly dull.
Yeah, PC-31 Vinyl Policeman, he loves that album.
And, you know, it's one of those albums. I was 26 in 1998, 26, 27. Nobody I knew was into that album. It wasn't anything I started hearing people talk about until the late 2000s. But I just find it terribly dull.
Okay, here's the title of one of King Gizzard Lizard Wizard's albums. Petro-Dragonic Apocalypse, or Dawn of Eternal Night, and Annihilation of Planet Earth and the Beginning of Merciless Damnation. That's the title of the album.
Yeah.
To me, you're trying too hard.
Didn't Fiona Apple do the same thing after her debut album? All their other albums had like about 40 words in the title.
Yeah,
like,
and you know, she's
what are you
one of
doing?
those. If you read interviews and hear her talk, it's just all nonsense too.
She's clearly gone through some traumatic things. I really, I've read her biography as far as that goes, but yeah, I mean, some of her stuff's a little weird.
Yeah, I've got Metal Machine music, but I don't play it. I heard it once. That was enough.
Too fun.
Yeah, I've never heard Fiona Apple, or if I have, I didn't know I heard it.
Yeah, her debut album was fine. But after that, it got a little weird.
I like the one with the pea pods on the cover.
Oh, that's Extraordinary Machine.
Yeah, that's a good one. But she's one of those, like, sadly, her personality has turned me off from wanting to listen to her music, even though it's so critically acclaimed.
Yeah, that album was nominated for Album of the Year, the one you guys just talked about.
Yeah.
Let's make a jazz noise here.
I think the critics have always been high on her music, though. It's the fan base that's doesn't quite hit with everybody.
Some of the later day Van Morrison stuff I like.
Sam St. John will disagree with you.
Yeah, I gave up on Van Morrison because of his politics, and I don't know.
Shane,
like Astral Weeks will always be one of my favorite albums ever. I've still got that, but I gave up on him.
Shane, have you listened or watched any of Sam St. John's videos? Because he's really into later day Van Morrison.
Yeah, but Sam St. John has no musical taste.
I mean, I'm just saying some nice things about him because he and Steve are very tight.
The most recent album, I think, Hymns to the Silence would be like maybe the last Van Morrison album I've ever listened to. And that was in the early 90s. I've not listened to anything else after that.
I think greatest hits 90s and on Van Morrison is where I'm at. Title, that's the first one, I think.
Yeah, there you go, Morris. Title.
Yes. Oh, hell, that album's almost 30 years old. That came out in 96, Title.
Do you have any Van Morrison, Steve?
I have a ton of Van Morrison.
Yeah.
I have probably close to his entire discography. The only ones I don't have, I think, are the ones when he does duets, and there's like 6 or 7 of those.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've got pretty much everything.
So what do you think of his recent albums that were like Get Off Facebook and everything?
That Van Morrison Project album, that triple album, I like that album a lot, actually. But yeah, I mean, I've got, and I don't have duplicates of everything because some of it I've got on LP only, but holy cow, this is a lot of Van Morrison here. Okay.
I think I have Astral, I have Moon Dance, obviously. I have
that is all Van Morrison.
Wow.
Okay, so
I have Astral Weeks, I have Moon Dance, I have I think I have all of the 70s, everything up to like the 80s. You know what? That is one of my holy grail records is the Them album.
Oh, Them.
The release, the initial first one.
But I will say this, I know I haven't listened to every one of those Van Morrison albums.
So, Massey, are you a completist like Steve is?
No, not really. I mean, there are bands that I want all their stuff, and like I have all of the REM, obviously, because I'm a huge REM. Radiohead. I'd like to get all the Stones at some point. I have everything up through Voodoo Lounge,
Okay.
but then it's these latter stuff that I haven't really hit on. I try,
Yeah.
I just can't spend a whole lot. Sometimes I went to a record store one time that I found a jazz album that I had been looking for forever, and it was Donald Byrd's A New Perspective. Came out in '63, and somebody had it up on their shelf, a used copy. They wanted $250 for it. I'm like, there's amount I will spend, but I'm not spending $250 on one record,
Yeah, I went to the Orlando Record Show this weekend, and one of my favorite record stores had a booth there. They had 2 early Link Ray albums, and they were selling each one for $195.
Man.
And I was like, man, I love the rockabilly stuff, and I don't collect 45s, which kind of seems counteractive that I don't, because so much of it is on 45s. And it's like, I can't pay $400 for these 2 records. And I'm a good customer in their shop and everything. They're like, well, I'll sell you each one for $150. And I'm like, that's a nice discount. Thanks. But I'm still at $300. I can't do it. Like
That's
I couldn't even feel comfortable playing a $150 record, quite frankly. I'd be too scared. It's why I don't have fine jewelry. I know I'm gonna so I know I'm gonna screw the record up as soon as the needle hits it. My cat's gonna jump on the counter, or I'm gonna drop it, or
so that must have been like because he had all singles until like 1960. He released an album that had most of his songs on it.
Yeah,
and that must have been one of those, because that would have been a hard one to come by.
Yeah, they were 2 different. And one of them had the Raymond W, and one of them didn't. So,
Marcia, you want the vinyl of them? Because I know there's a box set out on CD on Amazon.
Right, and that's the kind of thing I'm like, I'll just get all of that stuff on CD, But yeah, that's why I'm like, vinyl is so delicate. I can't see myself spend. That's why I put a limit on $35 a record. After that, I just can't, because I could get anything I want for the most part on CD, which is not as delicate as vinyl is. So,
Yeah, because the box set of the complete Them 64 through 67, Amazon has it for $22. Yeah.
Oh well, geez,
It's 3 albums plus bonus.
Yeah, I've seen that is an uncomfortable band name to say, the Them album. And it can go anywhere from like $40 to $70. I don't think I've seen it under 40. And I can understand paying 70 for something, but I just have to put myself on a budget of like 30, nothing over 35. Because again, I do collect CDs, so there's no reason for me to be particular. After
I'd like to thank Ken Domick Reaction Channel for the $15 super chat. Now, I'm not hinting for anybody else to send me a super chat. No, don't.
And maybe,
even though my birthday's coming up at the end of the month.
It is.
Yeah, I'll be 66.
The highest bidder will receive a personal message from Larry telling them exactly why everyone broke up at the CD exchange.
Yes. Yeah. It'll be like how Carly Simon auctioned off her telling who You're So Vain was about.
Yeah, there you go.
JJ Cale.
Yeah.
I think Glenn likes him.
Yeah. If
you
like
that sounds about right.
If you like Eric Clapton, that's where Clapton got most of his stuff from.
Yeah. John from Music Talk with John is a big JJ Cale fan as well. If he's still in the chat.
I just saw a little blurb where Sammy Hagar was talking some shit about David Lee Roth. I was like, wow, I love it.
Yeah, some records are way overpriced. Yeah. Did you hear the big news? Ringo Starr's making a country album, like a full-length album.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
So he's not doing the EPs after all?
Well, I guess not this time.
Hard to keep up.
I'd be interested to know who plays drums on that record.
Yeah.
Is he in physical shape to actually play drums?
Oh, yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I mean, he is in really good shape, I think. In better shape than Paul McCartney.
Yeah, and he's older than Paul.
Thank you, Flat Round and Spawn VC.
See you tonight, Trev.
See you tonight, Trevor.
Yep, his second country album after many, many years.
Yeah. I mean, I don't own any Ringo except for
I'll put that on the. I'll buy that one right after I buy Wang Chung's greatest hits.
I mean, it's not that out of reach. I mean, he did sing Act Naturally, so
yeah.
Here, Lana Del Rey is doing a country album.
that actually kind of seems to fit with her aesthetic, though.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. I mean,
Yep.
I mean, she puts on the persona that she's raised in a trailer park, right?
yeah, she has this very morose type of way about her, where she thinks everything should be sad and dark. And
I was going to say, I've tried, because I've heard the name and I've tried listening to a little bit, and to me, it's music to slit your wrist to. So
yeah, I mean, ultraviolence is very, everything that she does is very sullen.
yeah.
I think the kids say it's a mood,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Isn't it's things are either a vibe or a mood, and I
Yeah.
think she falls into the it's a
Well,
mood.
I like different moods from an artist, not just one mood.
Right.
She's
I
flat.
want them to be moody. Give me a bunch of everything.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. I think I'm going to
Yeah.
call it an afternoon
Yep.
Yeah.
because I've
Yeah.
got
So
some
for me as
chores
well.
to do
Yeah.
myself.
I think I'm done too.
Good for
When I
me.
saw Trevor's message up, I was like, yeah, I should probably get some things done around the house as well before tonight.
So please subscribe. Check out everybody's channel here after I'll have a link below the video after in a few minutes. And thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Larry.
Brian. Thank you,
Larry.
Marcia.
Good
Thank
seeing
you,
Brian.
everybody.
Nice talking to all you guys.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
See you later.